Welcome to the sidelines of Kenya's first fodder contracting and investment action. And we are pleased to have with us Majala Mlagui, who is the chairman of Mgeno Ranch. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Excellent. So, welcome.
Thank you so
to the
much.
conference. Good. So, maybe introduce Mgeno Ranch for us. What is it, and what does it do, and how do you find yourself here in the fodder conference?
Okay. So Mgeno is a community ranch in Taita Taveta County. We're based around the Mwatate area. We have 53,000 acres of community-led ranching land. We have 1,800 shareholders who are all looking at seeing how we can improve livestock operations within the county. We're here because we are looking at how do we partner with both the investors and off-takers who are looking at investing into the fodder sector to be able to improve on our distribution capacity for the fodder to beef operations, including supplying our own.
Okay. Why is fodder important?
Well, without fodder, you can't feed your cows. And without the cows, then you have no beef to eat and put into the market. So if we simplify it, fodder is just the grass and the maize that goes into being able to sustain the health of the cows through nutrition. And for us, being in an ASAL county, Taita Taveta is mostly ASAL. It's very important for us to make sure that we've secured the feed that goes into our beef operations.
Okay. So maybe you can highlight for us some of the historical. You've been around for 55 years as a ranch. So maybe you can highlight for us some of the historical fodder challenges that you've had and how you're solving for them by attending this conference.
So we were established in the 1970s, and by the time we got to around 1990, there was a significant drought that hit most of East Africa, if not the whole of Africa. And that, of course, then hit the livestock operations. Most livestock died. Most of the operations then went into a very almost zero capacity operations point. They then were able to revive the operations until around the mid 2000s. Again, there was another drought season. And most recently in 2021, 2022, we were also hit by a very significant drought season in Kenya, where we luckily didn't lose too many of our cattle, but we did have to reduce the pricing within which we sold some of the ones that were already in the ranch just to mitigate on those losses. Now, if we had sustainable fodder that had already been grown, harvested, and stored, both in terms of hay and silage, then we wouldn't have been talking about selling at either losses or indeed losing cows. Okay. So it's important for us to be here to be able to understand the strategies that other people in the country or outside of the country are implementing in their own commercial operations, and what opportunities we have to be able to structure ourselves for attracting investment to improve the storage and the infrastructure required to develop more fodder.
Okay. So the wearer of the shoe always knows where it pinches. So what do you think can be the solutions to the funding of fodder farming and fodder development, particularly in the context of land is not a problem because you have 53,000 acres, but capital would be. So what solutions do you see to that problem?
One, I would say the urbanites need to stop building more apartments and come into the machinanis and come and actually invest in the land that's there. Okay. But secondly, this is a discussion that is being held here today. How do we start ring fencing funds that are within the other sector linkages to ensure that that comes back to the ranches? What I mean by that is, for example, we know that a lot of beef is slaughtered in Nairobi, Kajiado, Mombasa. How do we then incentivize the slaughterhouses there to have either a levy or a fee that is charged per carcass or per cow that is slaughtered in the slaughterhouse, and that goes into a fund that then comes back into areas such as Taita Taveta to then enable the development of fodder. So that means that we're able to produce more beef sustainably and without any worry that the beef that we're handling may have a challenge of being fed. And secondly, it then guarantees that you're getting quality protein and meat in the city centers.
In essence, what you're recommending is for some of the off-takers of your product, which is beef, to contribute towards a solution that ensures that they get offtake regardless of the situation, drought or not drought, rain or no rain.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
And I what is happening with most of the off-takers, right, beef off-takers right now, they're looking to increase the capacity of cows slaughtered a week. But they cannot get that capacity if we as the producers aren't able to sustain the animals that we have. But if they're able to say, well, as part of our incentive to be able to supply us, we're able to guarantee that there's going to be financing towards your fodder, then that definitely goes a long way.
Excellent. I guess the fact that we're having this conference in Nairobi, Kenya today speaks to the opportunity. The opportunity has definitely been seen if a conference of this nature takes off. What's the best case scenario for you as a rancher? Where do you see us going? And what opportunities do you look at unlocking into the future and taking advantage of for you and your other shareholders in a community ranch?
Best case scenario is that we get out of this particular conference with offtake contracts that can guarantee certain financing arrangements that we can either go to a bank or to a financier and say that this is what we have. Can you give us 20 million, 200 million to be able to invest into our infrastructure for further development? The second bit is to then ensure that we are able to invest in, get multiple sector stakeholders understanding what we need to be able to develop the fodder. While we have the land, what we may not necessarily have in the ASL counties is water. So another very deep component that requires to be built up in this sector is the water infrastructure. So best case scenario is being able to have those two contract off-takers that then guarantees our financing and then the water infrastructure development.
What opportunities do you see for water infrastructure development in your area? Is it damming? Is it boreholes? Is it aquifers?
It's damming. It is distribution from some of the two main water sources of Mzima and the Njoro Kubwa Springs in Taveta. So Mzima is closer to the Mombasa Road area, and Njoro Kubwa is closer to the Tanzania border. If we're able to get to distribution infrastructure that then leads into reservoirs that then can supply the ranching areas, then we're good to go. I'm steering away from boreholes because our water tables are not quite the best, seeing as rainfall is short, and we're highly mineralized water, so that will impact the type of farming that we can do. But with the springs that are already available and supplying various other external counties, then that can definitely work.
Okay. Sounds like you need to have there needs to be quite robust discussions between policymakers and stakeholders like yourself to unlock this value.
Yes. But as a former deputy governor of Taita Taveta, I am very deeply aware of what needs to be done in the county from a policy level, and that'll definitely unlock the private sector investment that's required to then improve the water infrastructure, to then feed into the fodder development that's required.
Excellent. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
One, for your attendance of the conference, and two, for sharing with us your insights and contextualizing for us the opportunity that exists for further development. And we wish you all the best at Mgeno Ranch as you continue to grow.
Thank you so much. And we welcome everyone to Taita Taveta. Come tour, and maybe then you'll leave a few pennies that will help us develop the fodder.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.